and gentlemen, the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my shop. My name is Keith and I'm your host. Also, welcome back to Intentional Disregard. We've set up our ears on the table here, up off of it, so we can come in with a roughing mill. We don't need to have it smooth, pretty. We just need to have it uniform and even. Along this surface and along this surface here, this radius we're going to hand or feather in ourselves. The reasoning behind doing this is because the plasma cam is on the verge of being able to cut these clean. And we want to use those two surfaces as location registering plane of parallelism between the two parts themselves. We're going to square these two surfaces away, and then after that we'll be able to set them up and bore down through the center here and create our pin location, and then we'll go ahead and create the bosses or the doublers or the backup collars that are going to go on the sides of these, which help lock the pin from rotating on one side and extra support on the other side. The pin doesn't rotate in these ears, so there's no bushings in these ears themselves. The bushings that you saw are to go into the main pivots and also the ram that goes in between these two ears. Alright, so let's go ahead and get our indicator out of here and let's get on down into bringing some smooth surface in there. Okay, now that we got you moved in so you can see kind of the cut side, or the side we're working, you can see that there's a tack here and a tack over here after we clamp these pieces down, given the general location from one to the other. And we've set up our square along here, kind of showing you that a single edge of each of these pieces are making contact, and then you can see the equal gap on the top half as it slants in or away from the square. The same thing on the bottom one there. Alright, so let's go ahead and fire it up, and we're going to bring it on in, and we're just going to go ahead and we're going to come in here and lightly touch here and come across and catch this flat until we get a nice center surface running down the middle of both of these parts here. Okay, and that might be a little fast for us. Oh, that looks pretty good. Okay, we're just going kind of by feel. Alright, and now we're going to feed it away. We're going to come across and see what we come up with. Okay, we're at the end of that pass there, and we're just going to kind of come over here where we think the start of that radius is, because this is a pretty good hold right here to, and a view for me to go ahead and hit this radius. And I think somewhere right in there I can start and then come around here. When I get over here, I'm just going to take just a little bit more, because you can see there's just a little tiny holiday on that lower side right there. We want this to be a, you know, just about all the way across there. That's a good cut on the bottom. We can do this in 2 setups. So while we're in this setup here, I think I'll be able to, let me just come in here. I want to come in here. I want to make sure I'm missing that clamp right there, and it looks like I'm going to be doing good on that clamp. So I'm going to come back somewhere right around in there. All right. All right, we took a second round around that corner, and we're just coming across that flat now. See if we can pick up just a little bit more of that hollow area on the top plate there. Okay, we've already took our pointer and centered up on our little scribed out line there that we wanted. That's a laugh. We got a new noise in the head, J head in this, in Debbie here. Okay, so we're roughing in a 1/2-inch hole here, and then we're going to use the 1/2-inch drill to locate this part in the vise in the big drill press, and then we'll drill out the hole to a rough bore size, and we're going to make the 2 hubs that go on each side of these webs we're making. We kind of wanted this pilot hole to be nice and close, straight in line, set up with parallels under here. We sanded this in the belt sander, the Wilton, around this edge right here, and then we laid in a little piece of lead, kind of take the idiosyncrasy of that surfaces there on the outside. There we go. All right. We're going to put this in just about like it was in the vise over in the mill. And we're going to put the 1/2-inch drill bit in here. That's how we're going to align it. So we're going to bring this down. Get it close here. So we can eyeball this. Take care of our air hose here. All right. I can just engage my feed there so it kind of holds it where we need to hold it. Now, our column is old and it kind of has like a little droop. So the first thing we do is we tighten that up. I'm just kind of explaining this, how I take all the idiosyncrasies and the play and all of that out of everything. Okay, now the rotary part on the table. Now the vise is floating free. Now the table's completely locked down, and now just by tightening up the 4 bolts on my palm grin vise here, there we go. Okay, we are in line with that hole. Now we'll go ahead and pick a size drill that we're going to drill down through this and make our hubs or our doublers that are going to go on the outside. Okay, we picked 1 1/4 inch. It's just kind of a ballpark open clearance type hole for us, because the pin is some metric number that equals 1 inch 573, 574, somewhere around in there with the guessometers here. All right, so let's bring this down closer, and we'll go ahead and we'll just drill down through there. We got one strong flute on this bit here. It does have a flat cut on the front of it, just for like not grabbing, but I think one side is just leading the other one, obviously. The other one is breaking chips. They're just not as dominant. There we go. We're almost through. Awesome. All right, now we're going to head over to the lathe and we're going to machine out our rounds that are going to be this doubler here and this collar that has a lock bolt that goes through here, and that will hold the pin in place. All right, I think we're ready to go. Okay, we can speed it up a little bit here. Just want to give it a clean face on here and then drill it out to the 1 1/4 inch, the same size we did the webs. There's a piece of 4340, I think. I didn't use the whole center drill angle. I just went ahead and used the main section of it just to give it a starter hole. Now we'll put in the 1/2-inch bit. We're going to take it in about 2 inches. Now I didn't do none of the drilling. It actually kind of looks like it's drilling a little more equal, but I am bringing this in at hand speed versus the auto feed that I had in the drill press. Still the one dominant flute, but it's close. Okay, we're down at the bottom of that hole. All right, we squared up our tool holder. We got a parting tool in here, and we brought it in, squared it off of the live center. We have the drill chuck in here and a piece of rod in here, because you don't want to stick your finger inside her to catch it, because when it gets ready to part off, it's going to have teeth, meaning it's going to have a sharp edge in there. It's going to bite you. All right, I think on the outside here, the depth or the thickness of our doubler here, we're going to make it 1 inch 100. And it definitely is a little over an inch and not quite an inch and an eighth. All right, and I think that's going to be in there far enough. All right, and we want to get back up to some kind of speed here. There we go. Here we go. Yeah. It's also a little warm. Get a rag here. But you can see on that side there's the unparted nub, and that actually has a real sharp edge. That is where the teeth would come into play there. Okay, our second part looks like it's about 5/8 of an inch thick. So we'll come in here and give it like 625. There we go. Oh, now we can see that this inside here is only like 5. We're gonna have to go in just a little bit deeper with our drill bit. All right, we went in with the drill bit a little bit deeper. Let's just double check our depth here. We did make sure on the inside that we were good. And we're going to go for that right there. Okay. We went ahead and finished dressing this dressing this off, and we fixed a few cracks that were in here where this back curved web joins and meets the ears. And stick our piece up here to check our fit. We're pretty happy. We went ahead and faced off both of these, and then set up in the Bridgeport. We drove that hole. So now we're ready to go ahead, and we want to weld these on 100%. We're probably going to do 3 passes with 70-18 1/8 Excalibur rod, and then we'll be able to bore those out for the finished pin size straight on through, and then we'll set up the pin and these ears on here. They're still welded together. We want to leave them like that until we finish boring them. All right. So our project is coming along pretty good, but we have been preoccupied with a few other things, and let's talk about that. I found a new location for the shop, and I've been drawing up to scale the shop and all my machinery and accessories that are going to go inside. Been shuffling them around like a little puzzle, and here's kind of a picture of how it sits right at this exact moment. I'm going to pick up the keys tomorrow, and an electrician get over there, and we're going to take it from there. How many think we ought to have a video series called The Move? Or better yet, let me hear your suggested title for the video. All right, we know that there's a part of this bushing in here. It's worn out quite a bit, but I think there's still one in there. And I believe it's too thin a wall to put a weld bead around without blowing into it. I don't want to touch the bore with a weld. So we're going to heat it up and see if we can get a screwdriver underneath it and kind of like deform it until it's loose in there. See how fast it's starting to blow right there already. we got enough raised up there. I think I'm going to grab my big punch and my 3-pound maul. Alright, we just ran our snap gauges in there and we're like 2 thousandths over what we were shooting for. Let's see what we got here. That's going to be a nice fit. I get just a little bit of motion in there. We're going to be welding this on and maintaining this alignment. I think we got a good fit right there. And of course that goes on in and the pin goes through and locks that in place so it doesn't rotate. And there's a grease fitting on that, which will put the grease out through the center bearing in the hydraulic cylinder. Alright. Now we can go ahead and pop these apart and do the weld prep along here.